Um, gotta have Robin do agendas so that we can keep that up.
I don't need one. I printed mine.
Okay, good.
Printed the one you sent, so I don't need one. Safe paper.
Okay. Do you have yours?
An agenda?
Yeah.
I can take, I have it digitally.
Okay, Jan? No, I don't have one. Okay.
Where do you find it?
I think I
No.
emailed it to us.
Oh, okay.
So,
What's possible?
you want me to forward it to you?
You know, let me just check because I might have it. Yeah, forward it to me
Forward it to you, okay.
because this will happen in my somewhere.
Hi, everybody. I apologize. I got stuck talking to John. That took a little bit longer than anticipated.
30 minutes.
Sorry to remain on the table. So it's 8:45.
I don't think so.
Turn around.
I can't turn
You
around.
can't, never mind.
Is that actually working at all? Well,
It was last week.
Okay. I've got Robin bringing in an
Yeah, last
agenda
week.
for you
Alright,
and
and
for you, Mark. Okay. Um, and unfortunately mine is out there. Okay, we got a call to order. Are we recording now?
We are.
Okay. Um, let's see who's here. Um, I'm here. Molly? Molly's not here. Molly's not here. Okay. Roger?
Yep.
Okay, Jane? Hi, Jane.
Yes.
Okay. Man, Sally, I know can't be here. John will be in later. We also have, thank you. Yeah, we also have, I only needed a couple. Okay, John will be in. Marv, you're here. Tiffany is here.
Dave, you need to pass one of those to Dan.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, your name?
Cynthia Martins. We met at the,
Yes, I know we did.
okay. Just one comment that the agenda has the wrong year on it. So if you're gonna archive this later, you might want to fix that.
Oh, okay.
But it's beautifully done.
Okay. Confirmation of proper notice. I told the committee,
It's been on the bulletin board since it is on the bulletin board.
yeah, it's on the bulletin board, so
It's on the website
that's
too.
good.
And it's on the.
That's what he means. So,
Okay, it's in the physical bulletin board. So
okay, review of previous minutes. Now. Just as. We've been experimenting with using a recording to do the minutes and do it through AI.
It did not work. There's too many people talking.
Okay, all right. Then that's how that
We
works.
get, I gave up on that.
Um,
It's not all legible and it's not. It didn't work.
sounds typical of a meeting.
Well, it would work if you only had 2 people or 3 people talking. When you have 10 people talking, it doesn't work.
Well, essentially, it would work, I think, that if we were doing everything through your computers. It
Right.
would handle it very nicely.
Right.
But in the situation, I mean, you can't even hear what's being said when you've got 2 other. I mean, we didn't know what Barb was saying the other day because there were 2 other conversations going on around it.
Well, that's
That's the way it is.
no comment.
That's the way it is. Okay. Currently, the website is the big item. Currently, the website is out of compliance. Okay. John has been sending the information on the board to Catherine. Catherine is no longer doing anything with it and hasn't, really for this year. So I'm going to be getting those momentarily from John, all the stuff so that we can update all that information and have it available. Now, in terms of any issues, the fact that the current website manager or the previous website manager needed to be replaced, it just took a while to get there. I've spent inordinate amounts of time trying to figure out what's been there, but it's going good. I've got some people that are available to do other things. Sally's handling membership. Um, Molly has agreed to handle the updates on agendas and minutes so that those can get put up. So all I have to do is monitor keeping that going on. Most of the other stuff is kind of out there. So I'm doing it as I can. I'm not even sure some of the places are even current. I saw that we had um, a recommendation that members of the committee review pieces of the website and report on are they adequate or not. Not many people were able to get through all of that. So I've been trying to do it and taking note of the things which definitely need updating. So we will move forward on that. Okay. The other thing, what I just talked about with John, back when this website was implemented, that was the standard. The standards today are far, far different. I mean, just think about what's happened with your phones between 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and today. I've had conversations with my son, who happens to be an AI web developer. He took a look at the website and said, I can transfer this to a completely, let me back up. Website we currently have is referred to as being static. It sits there, and any changes which need to be made manually. So you can't just change some stuff and expect it to update as it should. It has to be done piece by piece by piece. Okay. Newer websites are something called dynamic. So that when you decide that, oh, gee, this information is in 3 different places, and some of it is the same and some of it is different, you can take those and move it all to its own spot, and it automatically, updates everything.
All the other 3
All
places.
the other 3 places. Okay, I was talking with John about the ability to do that. As I said, it takes about an hour, and we can host this for probably $10 a month. We're paying $1,000 a year right now to do what we've got. Okay, the renewal on that doesn't come up until the middle of August, I believe. I've shown John what it is. He's got the numbers. He knows where we are. His direction to me this morning was, well, you look into it, come back to us, within a short period of time, and a decision can be made at that point. I think that ultimately it's good for the association, considering the new requirements of keeping information on the web for longer periods of time. It's important that we stay current. Comments?
Sounds great.
Gives us $1,000 budget then too.
What?
Gives us an automatic $1,000 budget.
Well, that's not how the budget works, but
No.
in any event,
Okay,
that saves the association $1,000. which then gets
Maybe,
moved
yeah.
into some other things.
So
Yes,
what I
Mark.
didn't understand was how easy it is to change.
Okay. My son works at a software company and has access to very advanced paid AI tools. Um, he can tell his tools to look at our website and transfer of all the information as it currently exists into a more dynamic site, which then can be hosted on another platform, which would only cost us $10 a month.
So the new site will be hosted somebody, the new site is being created for us?
Not right now.
It would be.
It would be. I mean, I would give that to him and say, okay, make that happen. He would put it through, and he doesn't physically do it. He just asks for these AI tools to do
To
it
create
for
the
him,
website.
to create it for him based on what currently exists. Okay, he said these tools are so advanced right now. He's doing this for a massive big company out in California. He runs all the marketing websites for the company. And he said, easy to do. You know, I could do it, in the evening after I come home. And I have all of these tools available to me to do whatever I want to with it.
Gotcha. At a cost to us?
Okay. We haven't explored that. Nominal. I mean, really nominal.
I get you. I understand how that all works.
Yeah.
With this, because of where we are, we have to ask those
No,
questions.
absolutely, because I'm not going to do anything until such time that I get all information, all costs put together and present it to the appropriate people to make the decision. John has asked me to go ahead
I
and
heard that.
explore it.
Okay.
So, I'm going to do that at this point. Oh,
And then would our theoretical time be to get this done and decided upon before the August renewal?
yes,
So we don't have a lot of time.
actually, you got a whole month.
Well, that's
It can be done. It can be
That's not
done.
a lot of time in this environment here.
Okay,
Okay, that really isn't because you got
Okay.
to go to John and it
Now-
has to go to the board. I don't know
no,
where it has to
wait,
go.
this is the second. When I volunteered for this, I volunteered to help out with committee. Okay, when I got here, they said, we need somebody to run this. And nobody said anything. So I said, well, I have that ability to do this.
Right.
So I've been looking at it. I've been spending a significant amount of my time going through and just learning what needs to be done, much less trying to keep things up to date. Okay. I don't need another job. All right. And anything that can be easy, particularly going forward, how is this going to get transferred? So we can handle what needs to be handled in a relatively short period of time, even considering what you're talking about. And I do understand. Okay. The traffic on the website is minimal. Okay. If you look at the, traffic that comes through, I would be willing to bet that 2 to 3 dozen people go on regularly, which is nothing.
No, it should be much broader, much bigger.
Yes. By doing this, you also then have the ability to provide more information to pieces of the general public and certainly a lot more information to the residents so that they can access it.
Okay, there's nobody here that's a bigger champion of this than I am. Okay,
I understand where,
really. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping that it does enough. Because I don't know how far it goes and what it doesn't do, and that's okay.
okay,
As far as this is concerned, if there's really minimal cost, then I see no issue with getting it approved and all that kind of stuff within the timeframes.
well, I definitely know that it's going to cost less than it's costing us right now.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that we're all aware of it so that we do our part
That's,
to get it done.
I've only really started, once I started trying to update things and I found out how long it physically takes
Yeah, forever.
to go through and do all of these pieces.
We can't do it manually.
You
We
can,
have to have some sort of an
and
AI.
I agree, and it probably is not gonna work. Once it's done, it's probably not gonna work as easy as you think it's gonna work, but you'll get the bugs out.
I just want to express one concern. I mean, if you're gonna repopulate an updated site, you're gonna have to keep the old one around until you're satisfied that all of your security and all of the access is available on the new site. Do we have enough time to do that by August?
Well, I think that,
I don't see any problem with leaving the current site there for the
Transition.
transition.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it means we've got to get the access for another year. Okay. If November, December comes along and we find that, okay, this is going to be much better. Boom. Pull the switch and you make it public and get rid of the other one.
That's fine with me.
yeah. In my experience designing websites for clients, because I do that for a living, we usually budget a year of time for a major migration like that. And it's gonna save a ton of man hours to do it with AI like your son is proposing. I think that sounds fabulous. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we needed to
Keep it.
have that additional.
I do not disagree with that, and I was planning on doing that.
Yeah,
We've got enough time over the next year to
Yeah.
make the transition happen.
Yeah.
And really, with the tools that are available today,
Yeah.
you're not building it manually anymore.
right, right.
You're not going in and coding because all that gets done.
Yeah,
And, you know, any of the tools that are available to us still would take a significant amount of time, even though it would be very quick.
yeah,
The professional tools that are out there right now are unbelievable.
yeah, sure are.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, if you do that, you recognize what all of that's about.
sure. But yeah, no, you're right. But I think that to Mark's point, we could probably get the board approvals and everything by August.
That's how long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because I mean, that's 2 board meetings and it's
I'm
also,
not sure we.
and it's also budget.
Probably better.
What?
probably,
I
yeah,
said, I'm not sure we need board approval, but it's probably better to get it.
Right.
yeah.
What, you talked about hosting. Would someone else host somewhere else, or would it be hosted on server that we have here?
It would be hosted on a site out there,
Out.
so it's, you know,
Like in the cloud somewhere?
secure. Right. And hosting sites right now are literally a dime a dozen. I mean, it costs practically nothing, particularly the size of what we do. We're not an enormous traffic site. So there are a lot of places to explore to do that. I haven't even begun to go down that road yet. I just wanted to bring up, this is something that I think deserves exploration. And I can explore it fairly quickly. Fortunately, my son's on parental leave right now, so he's got a lot of time available.
All right,
to-
anyway, we take
to do
advantage
what
of
it is.
that.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
advantage of that,
Yeah, let's do that.
you know, and, you know, I will actually be there in September. So, you know, it needs some time to go through and get everything squared up. But basically, I'm just making people aware and getting approval to go look for stuff. So that's kind of where I am. And then, you know, the other side of it is between now and the next several days, I'm going to be making the board stuff compliant again. John's gonna give me all the information we need so that we can get that up. And videos are a problem, but I don't think that was something, they've given us 30 days from my reading from July 1st to make sure that the videos are up and available. Am I wrong on that, Barbara?
Sorry, I had to find the unmute. 30 days to get the video up on the website?
30 days to make that compliant with web videos for the board. Is that
Um, I don't think there's a criteria on how fast you get it up on the website.
okay? That's not what I read, but I will take
Are you talking about something in the statute, in the federal statute?
yeah,
Well, okay, so generally, we take 30 days to approve the minutes because they get approved at the following board meeting, so that's 30 days.
that's
So
correct.
I mean, there's no reason why then the video of the meeting can't just follow that.
Right. That was my impression.
Okay,
So, okay. But it is 30 days that generally this happens, so
generally, yeah, as
we're
a
good.
practice, as a practice.
Okay, thank you.
As I read that, when I sent you that thing from the Senate, this is from their kind of review of the law. Associations must update the association's website within 30 days of any change.
Okay,
That's on there.
that's where I read it.
Is that the new House bill?
Yes, that is the new bill, get the number of the bill,
913?
913.
Yeah.
That was on the review of Bill 913 from the Florida Senate.
Yeah, there's quite a few other changes in there.
There is.
I generally would wait. I like to wait until they incorporate it into the Florida statute 718. Because I don't know. I mean, was this bill approved? Do you know if this bill was?
Was DeSantis signed it 2 or 3 days ago.
Ah, okay. Because I have a printout
And this,
from like a month ago. So I just don't know what changes occur since then.
yeah, they change them constantly between the House and the Senate.
Exactly. That's why I like to wait till it's incorporated into the Florida statute 718.
Well, that'll probably be soon.
Yeah.
States on the website, the effective date is July 1st,
Yeah.
2025.
Said that on there.
That's it.
Okay. Um. Just
But
going down through,
can I just add one thing? So the the way that it's worded is if the minutes are done by video conference, then that's when you have to have it up. I mean, am I missing something? It's not mandatory, but it's if your minutes are done by video conference. I mean, our videos are just a supplement to the actual minutes. So
okay,
I guess we just have to see how the wording like aligns with that, with what we're doing. So
I know it's not, and in different parts of it, the wording is a little different too,
yeah.
from what I read. So trying to figure out which way. Now, we're already doing some of this or have done some of this in the past. So I don't see that that's an issue. But then just a decision needs to be made in terms of, the length of time that these things stay up. But that's, I think, for another discussion.
Went to the bar.
She did put her finger up, so I think she was going to get something.
Okay.
Looks like Florida to me.
Well, on the new law here, it says the bill requires condominium associations to keep as official records all bank statements and ledgers as official records. Recordings of meetings held by video conference. Affidavits required by 718, including on the association's website, and approved minutes of the board over the preceding 12 months on the website.
Right,
Okay.
And associations must update within 30 days of any change.
right. Okay.
That's the synopsis.
Right, but most of what I've been reading is about the board.
Mhm.
It does not necessarily follow for committees.
Because committees have to present to the board
Present
at
to the
board
board.
meetings.
Correct.
It makes sense to me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you watching
I'm
TV?
watching one with her boy toy.
Wait, Barbara, you're muted.
You're muted.
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted. It's Turner Pest Control.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. Cluster you, getting inside treatment here. Sorry.
You're good. Uh,
Okay. All right. Any further questions or discussions about this issue? I'm gonna go forward and start grabbing some information.
Other than if you need us to do anything that helps you with your timeline, let us know.
Okay,
Yes, I'd be happy to.
okay, so I will reach out as needed if we got, I've been working, closely with Robin too, and she's becoming more and more conversant with what needs to happen.
Good.
And so that's that.
I have a question. You come and present the fact that, and you're wonderful that you're helping with this because it is a dire thing. But what is your long-term vision for how this is going to be maintained, updated, and who's going to be responsible for that? Do you have any recommendations now?
No,
So we have no idea.
that's correct.
Okay, and you got that, you're working.
All I know is that the long term of what exists right now
Uh-huh.
is in jeopardy.
Right, because it's out of date and nobody can update it.
It's out of date. No one that I know of has stepped forward and said, oh, I can do this. I mean, a notice went out, I showed up.
Right,
It was never my intention, it was never my intention to do what we're doing, but no one else has the ability to do that at this point.
but beyond being responsible for the framework of it, then we would have to decide how often we need a person or persons to be engaged in regular
You're
updates.
talking about the ongoing operation.
Yeah, the ongoing operation in terms of, we're not, are we gonna hire a web person? Probably not, or a part-time web person, or you're gonna give a quarter of it to whoever's at the front desk and a quarter of it to the committee members. It's just a discussion item as we go.
That's what we're doing now.
And it's not working. Right
No, it
now.
is working.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the problem is that previously a single individual did
Yeah.
95% of what went on. One other person was partially trained. And there it's at. So between the end of April and today, I've been trying to figure out where everything is.
Okay.
So, and I've been updating the things which are crucial. We're good with membership. Membership is being handled very nicely. Part of it is what the current issue is in terms of communications.
Right.
So, and I was talking with John about that earlier today, and that's good. That's taken care of now
It
too.
has a long-term issue. The
We-
website is just one prong of IT responsibility.
Oh, we're not involved
And-
with IT.
You're not the IT committee. though.
We're not, we're called the IT committee. I don't know why.
It's just
We're
website.
basically the website committee.
All right, so in terms of doing mailings or emails or anything like that, or having a newsletter.
Right. Barbara does the newsletter.
Hi, Barbara.
Okay.
Okay,
The staff here does the emailings. There's a facility there that they can send out mass emails. They handle that. In terms of, we will take care of what equipment that we need to do our job here. But in terms of, okay, Robin's computer breaks, what do we do?
Or,
Okay,
yeah, or
that's not
if
us.
Robin gets sick and who has access. I mean, I just wanted to understand the scope, and the scope right now is IT, but it's really just website compliance and update,
Primarily, yes.
okay?
Okay. Now, and part of my issue is that because they know I know this stuff, can you help me with? Okay, so, I want to try to alleviate that. It's not an easy thing to pick up on. But, you know, the important things right now, outside of getting the board in compliance.
Mhm.
For example, one of the things that it said, go ahead, Barbara.
Okay, so I pulled out the operations manual where it lists the functions and responsibilities of each of the committees. If you want, I can just give you a rundown of what they are for the IT committee.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay, so number one, responsible for creating, designing, and maintaining a website and or closed or closed, also a closed TV channel specific to Wildwood Springs. That provide owners with login credentials and maintain a list of authorized users. Committee may videotape or stream board meetings. So they'll also post records of the meetings on the website. The committee may also videotape stream committee meetings as needed. Committee shall post minutes, financials, and other documents as needed for the owner's information with board approval. Committee may provide information and guidance to management as to which computers and peripherals the office needs to go back to your point there about, say, Robin's computer or something. They shall keep costs within budget by reviewing monthly financial records, provide input to the budget, and finally review owner requests and advise the manager and or board on course of actions as needed.
Okay,
and is $1,000 the only thing that's in the budget for IT?
no,
No,
I don't have their budget. Sorry, hang on. I can tell you based on, as treasurer, what the total.
2,500.
It's a 2,500? Okay.
That's what's.
I don't know details. I don't know details.
That includes hardware, right? Or
That includes everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Not office hardware, our hardware.
Right, that's office
for the
hardware.
recording,
Office is
stuff
separate.
like that.
Right.
Office hardware stuff.
Now, I do know that they utilize an outside consultant to do the technical work on these, which is why I assumed, I can advise, certainly,
Yeah.
but in terms of doing engineering work or specific hardware work, that's contracted out to another
And this
person.
company is, I think, Computer Toast.
Okay,
what does technical work entail? When you're saying this technical work, what, running the LAN here for the office?
opening up the computer, sticking something in it. I mean, getting hooked up to the website, that's Spectrum's deal. Or to
Right.
the internet, that's
Right.
Spectrum's deal.
That's all communication.
Okay, if your hard drive goes down, that's somebody else's. Okay, that's technical.
Right. Well, it's interesting when we were at the meeting for the landscape,
Mhm.
and Jeff was sitting here, he was saying he had problems getting on his computer to see things. And I was like kind of surprised that we have no responsibility to give the different group heads computers that are up to date so that they can make their work more efficient. But beyond the scope of this, shouldn't that be under an IT committee, is making sure that if they need tablets or something so that they can check on the work requests and things like that. Just suggesting down the road.
I'm not gonna-
If we're gonna upgrade all this,
I'm
we
not
should
gonna do
have,
that.
you're not gonna do that, but the IT committee, when it becomes full force, if
We're
that
gonna need to hire
evolves,
somebody.
it might, the efficiency might be worth it.
Barbara? Barbara,
Right. Yes, you have two budget line items. One is for the website monthly fee, which is $965 for the year. And the other
that's
line,
gone up. I know.
and the other line is for equipment for $1,535, which can be anything from the video equipment to computers, whatever. My experience from the company that I retired from was all the departments, if they needed computer equipment or things of that nature, they submitted their requests over to the IT department, and then the IT department budgeted. I mean, I suppose everything's different, it could be different anywhere. But you raised a good question as to if we needed new computers, whose budget does that go in?
Okay,
I'm done, yeah.
according to John, this was a conversation that we had prior to you walking in the office the other day.
Okay,
That's actually office equipment.
what equipment?
Office equipment,
Oh, office, so it goes under administration?
yes.
I got you. Okay,
All right,
let me just see if there's a line item.
Plus, that would have then included a decision of who's getting what,
yep.
because I don't want to go helter skelter winning any of that either. Walking around with a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure, for instance, if when you raised the question about Jeff couldn't get to something, maybe there's a reason why he couldn't get to it. I don't know what it was. But
Something about his, I think he didn't have the right upgrade in Windows
He just got a new machine and was still getting it set up, yeah.
because he couldn't get to the stuff he needed.
Yeah, but that wasn't a brand new machine. That was an old computer that.
From Robin or something, yeah.
Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Okay, come here. My RAV4,
Uh-huh.
which is part between the pickup trucks. In the middle console is my phone.
Got it. Be right back.
So the computers are under office equipment.
Under administration. I think John runs that,
We
but
own them, right? We don't lease them. We own all of this equipment.
Yes,
Okay.
the copy machine, maybe not, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, because that has nothing to do with you, but I mean, just looking at this from top side down, I mean,
I have a question before we go
Yeah.
further. Are you requesting to be part of this committee?
I thought you asked me to be a part of
I
it.
did not.
Okay, I do want to be part of the committee.
Okay, because that was never clear.
Okay.
Because many people can come here and be parts, but, okay. All right, just to make this
Yeah, I'm official
official,
now.
just to be official.
Now I'm a pay and I'm an official pay.
Okay.
Okay, and what's your name?
Cynthia Martens,
Hi, Cynthia.
215 Sherwood.
Okay,
Okay,
I
so,
made, what? Okay, I probably left it on Robin's whisper in John's office.
Okay.
Okay, Zoom, is that, we're all set with that at this particular point?
So Zoom is working. Whoever's going to be recording the Zoom meetings when I'm away should be decided.
Okay,
I'll be away for 2 weeks in July and 2 weeks in October. July 10th to the 25th, I will not be here.
Do you want me to call it?
not right now.
So that will leave a vacancy for Zoom.
do you have any meetings when you're gone?
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many yet. I didn't look.
Okay.
Currently, he's running the system for everything.
I've been
so-
running them for all the meetings. But those 2 weeks I will not be here. And there'll be another 2 weeks in October.
I thought you said August. Didn't you say August?
July,
Oh,
And October.
And
July 10th to the 25th, and
Yeah.
you'll have to look at the October dates.
Oh, it's, I thought I heard August.
Roger, can you handle this?
It's gonna depend on,
Meeting.
it's gonna depend on, I'm gonna be here, I expect to be here. However, it's gonna depend, right now, I can't see
Okay,
well
gotcha.
enough to do that because of my flare up right now.
Okay,
If the medicine kicks in like it's supposed to, then I probably could, but right now,
okay,
you're blurry when I look at you.
okay, gotcha.
And I can't read hardly at all because everything is double.
We'll work on this
I
offline.
can leave all the equipment set up here, so it doesn't have to be pulled out of the closet to set up. Basically, you go in here, you log in as a new meeting, And I have instructions here that where you
I've got
open the meeting and close it when
I've
it's
got
over.
the instructions. I know how to do it. It's just a question of,
Admitting people. to the meeting.
committing people to do this. Yes, Barbara?
I just want to say that it is not required to Zoom. So if you miss a month where you're not going to, I mean, maybe you can Zoom, but you can't record. Because it would take, I know when I have the newsletter meeting, when I kick off another newsletter, I might open up the Zoom to see who's participating via Zoom just on my laptop, but I might not be recording it because nobody was available to record it. So it's not a requirement that it be recorded, like you have that extra level of equipment and all that. So,
Barbara, on the laptop here, all you do on here is when you open the meeting, it has record to computer, record to cloud, and it's part of the Zoom that's on this laptop. So all you do is hit one button, it records to the cloud, and it end when the meeting's over. That software is already on here.
And I've done it with Dan. I'm just saying, if my vision clears up, if my medication puts my myasthenia in remission again, then I can do it. Because I've done it before.
yeah, I'm just saying that it's not a requirement. So if you miss a month, it's,
She's saying we don't necessarily have to do it, is what
Right.
she's saying.
We don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, I
Zoom.
can-
It's not
I-
required to
I
Zoom.
can-
You will for the board meeting.
I know for the board meeting.
I won't be here for the board meeting.
I'll volunteer to step in.
I'll show you.
Okay,
It's
we can,
simple.
we can work out.
One
Fine.
of our office
timing.
equipment laptops,
No, that belongs to
This is the
the,
IT
That's it.
committee's laptop
that's,
but they have it, okay.
that belongs to this committee. And it was purchased specifically
for these
for
meetings.
this committee for these meetings.
Okay, good.
I'll do it if I can, but
Yeah, but if you're feeling bad, I'll click a
well,
button. You
God, if
know.
I'm still feeling bad in July, I'm gonna be really unhappy.
Um. I have nothing else, really. I mean, I put this together before. I started thinking about the need to make some changes and before I really understood what was going on with the new site and everything. So, anybody have any questions or anything that you want to bring up? Yes,
I could give an update on the YouTube page
Yeah.
if you want.
that's actually on here.
Okay,
Go to it. What's going on with the new YouTube page?
I emailed Dan a link. If you could.
I couldn't open the link.
You couldn't open the link. The one that I just sent, at the
Today?
beginning of the meeting, yeah.
No, I didn't even see it. That wasn't really on there.
Oh, okay. If,
I could try to
is
get
your
on there.
is it your email on the laptop or?
No, this is Wildwood
What time is it?
Committee on the laptop.
Okay, so if I forward it to,
Is
you
there
would
an
be able to
email
get it on
account?
the.
Is there an email account for this committee? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Has individuals' names.
Everything.
I've never
else-
tried to get an email on this
Everything would
laptop.
go to Chris's personal email.
Here, I'll just type it in.
Okay.
Alright, let's see, where's your internet?
Down the bottom bar.
To, or, paste. Three. Okay. Hopefully I typed that right. Yay!
Oh, that's pretty.
Okay, so, oh, well, maybe I'll wait till David's back.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Lovely picture.
thank you, thank you. I haven't put everything up yet, and I'm gonna redo it so that it's in chronological order, but it's a start at least.
Can we find this if we go to YouTube and search Wildwood Springs?
Right now you can. Once I'm done uploading everything, I was gonna put a password protect over it so that only residents could get in, but they would need to know the password to get in.
Right, right. Yeah, it shouldn't be open because these are the board meetings. It shouldn't be open to the public.
Yeah, yeah. So, David, I just had pulled it up
Thank you.
online. So I started building the YouTube page. And I started uploading the videos. Right now, they're not in chronological order. I have to resort them, and there's more that I have to upload. But something that I liked so far was that I organized playlists and sorted the playlists by topic. So one for landscape committee meetings, one for IT committee meetings, one for building committee meetings, etc. So that if people just want to hone into one committee or just the board meetings, they could just go directly to each category instead of trying to sort through chronologically in the video area. Let's see. I have some information on here, including, if you see under links, I included the Wildwood Springs website as well as a video archive from 2018 to 2024, which was Chris Perry's old YouTube page. So if people are looking for archives of the video, they can go to Chris's site.
Which are not currently protected, by the way.
Right, those are public. And without cracking into Chris's account, we're not able to make those private. However, I do plan to make these private once I have it built, and I'll put some sort of, maybe in the information area, here where I have videos from the Wildwood Springs Condo Association, including board workshops, board meetings, and committee updates, helping our community stay informed and engaged. I'll put in that information section, like to access videos, email the office for a password, or get the password off of our
Hold on,
website.
I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah,
Okay, so in order for us to get to the website, we have a password and we have to log in.
yeah.
So you're saying that will not allow us to just go there?
If you go to the website and click the link to the videos on the website, it would allow you to just get there. But if you're on YouTube just on your own and you're trying to get into our page, it would be password protected.
Okay, it should be, and I'm not so sure we should give out that password. I question that, whether you shouldn't have to have a password to get to the website to get there.
So maybe the website is the only
Yes.
through route to
Yeah,
get
That's
to
kind of
you.
what I'm
Yes.
thinking.
That would make it a nice smooth trip rather than somebody having to think, well, I'm going to Wildwood Springs, which password do I need?
Yeah,
Well,
It might
what
be
you're
better if
talking
it-
about would be used for an administrator maybe, to
Yeah.
have to fool around with it or something, I guess.
Yeah.
there is a setting on here where I can make that happen, where any hyperlink through the website would have the password built into it, so
That's,
they could access.
Unless as you go through all the stuff, you find reasons not to do that.
Yeah,
Are you
I-
legally allowed to do that? I mean, aren't you supposed to make it public? I mean, right now, the board information is not password protected for a piece, will go right to our website.
yes,
Yeah.
it is,
Yes, it is.
I just logged into it and
because
I
you
didn't,
logged into the website.
maybe I am, I'll look.
If you didn't log in and tried to go in as a non-owner, you can't get to any of that board stuff.
Yeah, because I logged in earlier. All right, so if I go to the board and I go to the board documents, yeah, all right, you're right, it's password protected. My mistake.
thanks. Yeah.
There's all that sort of.
Yeah, no, I
We're
know.
talking about a lot of stuff, it's not public information.
And so the legal requirement for having this stuff is to make it available only to the people here.
The owners.
The owners.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I
That
wasn't
doesn't
sure
mean
about
it's
that.
never gonna get out somewhere, but that we should not make it easy for people to get that.
There is a public page.
Right. And I know the first two, the home and the about, are generally open. And some,
You can see floor plans and some of those
yeah,
things
yeah,
as a non-owner,
right,
in
right.
case you're interested.
But most of the stuff from residents on is pretty much protected, yeah.
So anyways, making progress on that, and we'll finish the uploading and the password protecting as we just described it.
Looks good.
Thank you.
So you're basically creating albums of items so we can go to the committee or whatever.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great, that's great.
thanks.
And then the question that I would then have is, how long should those be available?
I think we just leave them up forever, but that's my opinion. And maybe that's because I'm on the board and I like being able to go back and confirm decisions that were made in the past.
Okay.
I think it's a nice transparency thing, but that's just my opinion. If anybody has other opinions, we can change it.
Are you paying
That
for it?
cost,
Yeah,
Yeah,
if the costs start to go up, all
Yeah.
of a sudden we find out, well, if you have more than X
storage.
then
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
get a
be
bigger
charged.
bill.
yeah. Maybe once we hit that limit, we could start weeding out the old ones.
Yeah.
But for now, I think it's a pretty big chunk of data that we have.
Yeah.
That we can just keep going.
Barbara's got a question.
Yeah, Barbara.
Oh, not a question, but the Florida statute incorporates retention on these videos. And they're not
For
that,
1 year, right?
yeah, it's short.
Yeah.
Unless it's
Okay.
the owners meeting. I think the owners meeting, maybe 3 years or something. I forget. We'd have to go
Oh,
in when the statute gets updated. It could go, behooves everybody to go through that.
yeah.
So we
Sounds
don't-
good.
I mean, if it becomes a cost of like keeping really old stuff, there's no sense in keeping it really. I know I've used like to do research on certain things. I've gone back 5 years, as far as I could. But if it wasn't there, I would just go to the paper minutes
Mhm.
because the paper minutes is what's approved by the board as a summary of what happened at that meeting.
Yeah.
It's my 2
so you
cents.
need a policy on what you want to keep. You have to make a policy and says, we're gonna keep 2 years, 5 years. And then just maintain it.
Yeah. Well, it's the least amount of effort now to just upload them and let them be. It's more effort to have someone monitor it and take things down.
And that's what we do.
Right.
If you're going through the website, because when it was mentioned that you guys might need help or members,
Mhm.
I went through the website. There are a lot of documents out there that are super old. I mean, because they usually have a date on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you wonder, are they still valid or are they just there because nobody's ever changed them or
Updated.
updated them?
Mhm.
So once again, another thing we're gonna have to think about when people take over the website is how often do you go through it to weed this out or update and say, whatever we said in 2017 has changed or has not changed?
Yeah. I don't know if that will be as much of an issue for the YouTube page, since that's
Not
just
for
sort of a
YouTube, yeah.
chronology, but you're right for the website that
In
the
general,
committee will have to decide that. Yeah.
That's already been looked at. It's been discussed. And it depends on how much pushback individuals give.
yeah. Well, we're hoping that if you rebuild the website, you're going to, because I'm sure you're gonna do a great job, that people will become more confident in looking for updated information there.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll work on their phones too, because that's the way this thing is. It has to be the phone.
Yeah. Mobile friendly. Yeah.
Well, anything would be mobile friendly. Or at least not mobile hostile,
Right.
but it certainly does not need its own app.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pool rules. Last time it was updated was 3/21/2017. I mean. I
Pool
think
rules haven't changed.
We don't, have they or haven't they? Because I don't know.
They haven't been changed. I know that. Tammy would be all over.
You had a thing here, big thing about non-smoking. I don't know what year it was. And I remember that at pool. Yeah, at the pool, and yeah. Some guy used to get in there and smoke a cigar, and his wife was upset he wouldn't have any place to go. He said, "Let him smoke at home, and she will let him in the house."
Okay, can we set?
Do we have homework?
Not right now.
When's the next meeting date?
July 31st.
I think I'm not.
Yeah, I won't forget that day either.
And I won't be here in September, so.
You said that we, decision point for August, is there anything you might need to call together to discuss about this August renewal of the website? Just add me to the email and stuff. I can email you. Address.
And phone number.
I'm in the book.
Okay. If that's how it is, we'll do that.
I'm just using it. Okay.
I move that we adjourn.
Second. Do we have a second?
Oh, I thought you were saying second.
Okay. Barbara, seconds.
You second, Barbara?
No, I'm not a member of the committee. I can't second.
All right, well, let's,
I was
I'll
waiting
second.
to buy.
Okay, good, Roger.
Thank you, Roger.
Okay.